What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds, and welcome to another episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars Retro Discussions. Today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 3, Children of the Force. This episode was directed by Brian Colin O'Connell and written by Henry Gilroy and Wendy Miracle. The cookie for this episode: the first step to correcting a mistake is patience. So if you guys missed last week, which if you did, I highly encourage you to check it out, but Intro Guy wants me to start introducing him differently, because apparently giving him new music for the intros wasn't good enough. He wants me to do more. So this is how he would like me to introduce him this week. If some of y'all didn't like him so much, I wouldn't be doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that Twi'lek men hate and Twi'lek women love. They love him so much, even Aayla Secura would leave the Jedi Order for him. Highly doubtful. Take it away, Intro Guy. Do your thing already. A thief hunted. In a daring assault, Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano boarded the warship of cunning bounty hunter Cad Bane to recover a stolen holocron containing a list of the galaxy's Force-sensitive children and future Jedi Knights. After a desperate chase and duel with the villain, Anakin and his troops defeated Bane, but were forced to evacuate his doomed vessel without the holocron. So I'll say this much about the episode, you guys. I think of the 3 Cad Bane episodes that we've gotten here in Season 2 so far, I think this one was the weakest of the 3, but it was by no means bad. This was actually an episode where a lot happened in 22 minutes. We go to so many different locations that we've seen before. But we start out on the Jedi cruiser. They find green blood on the ship, and it's like, well, this ain't for many of us. Who is it? Anakin picks up on it. Ahsoka, meanwhile, is chasing after a clone who's hurt. Oh, he's injured. He might be serious. Wait, you're no clone. It's Bane. Bane ends up stealing a starfighter. He gets away. And I'm like, son of a gun, this man remains undefeated. We talked about it last week, how Cad Bane has, ever since being in Clone Wars, hasn't lost a battle. And right now, that fact still remains true. Yoda said it best: inflict devastating damage on the Jedi Order he could. This man is posing more of a threat right now than people like General Grievous and Asajj Ventress. But this is an episode, you guys, where the Jedi Council really has to intervene and, take matters into their own hands, because this dude, Cad Bane, is just running roughshod on everybody. So it's like, alright, there's a small chance that through the Force we can see what children he's gonna go after. And so we have this meditation scene with Obi-Wan, Anakin, Yoda, Mace, and they're all sitting there sensing places. They sense Rhodia, they sense Gliansum, they sense Naboo. Yoda says that the child from Gliansum was taken, his fate is shrouded for the moment. He tells Anakin to go to Naboo, Obi-Wan go to Rhodia. Obi-Wan gets there too late, because by the time he gets there, Cad Bane's already got possession of the child. He used, a mind control thing on the mom, which I found interesting that, a Jedi Mind Trick was the thing that kind of, took her out of it, because she's like, where is the bounty hunter? And it kind of makes her come back to her senses. But like I said, he was too late. Bane got away. But Anakin and Ahsoka were able to get to Naboo ahead of time because, they were sending people out. It makes sense. Cad Bane can't be in 10 places at once. Ahsoka wants to take the lead on this one because she's got a score to settle. Let's not forget what happened the last time that these two met. Bane lured her into a trap, and he also took her Padawan bead. And they come up with a plan, the mom's rocking the baby by the cradle, sets her down for the night. Cad Bane swoops in there. You can see Ahsoka sneaking, her head out of the closet. I always found that funny. And, so it's it's a trap. And they have themselves a little bit of an encounter where the Jedi end up capturing Bane. And I'm like, holy shit, we got him. This is what happens when you actually because I remember watching this at 8, 9, 10 years old, how big of a deal it was that we just captured Bane. Because again, as I've been saying, this dude's been running roughshod on everybody. He's been getting win after win after win. So then the fact that we actually capture him, it's like, oh my gosh, we did it. We got him. Ahsoka gets her Padawan bead back, which, of course, good stuff. And then she kind of gives the baby a look. The baby gives back an adorable look. So then comes probably my favorite part of this episode, just because I've never seen, up to this point, I've never seen anything like this on screen before when it comes to the Jedi Mind Trick. It felt like, at least for me anyway, watching this back when I was little, it added so much lore to the idea of a Jedi Mind Trick and what it could do, because they're sitting there trying to interrogate Bane, right? Obi-Wan, Windu, who you working for?
We know you've taken at least 2 children. Where are they?
Beyond your reach.
Who are you working for?
I work alone.
It is only a matter of time before we locate the holocron. Make it easier on yourself.
What are you going to do, Jedi? Torture me?
I think the fear of whoever you work for outweighs your fear of us.
This conversation is over.
And they go and talk to Anakin and Ahsoka, and they're like, all right, Bane's not that weak. He's not going to fall for a mind trick. And Ahsoka comes up with the idea of, well, maybe if we all concentrated on his mind together. And Obi-Wan's like, using the Force to compel a strong mind is risky. And I'm like, oh, geez, this sounds dark. What are we about? Oh, my gosh, are we actually going to do this? And they walk in there. I'm like, oh, we about to go.
You will take us to the holocron.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me.
You will take us to the holocron.
Forget it.
You will take us to the holocron.
I won't.
And you will take us now!
I will take you. No! Get out of my head!
Perhaps we should try again.
I've had enough of that.
Bro, this is one of the craziest scenes in the whole show, I'm telling you. Just seeing all of the Jedi using a mind trick like that on someone like Cad Bane who, like, doesn't have a weak mind like the Stormtrooper did back in A New Hope. Then we get a scene where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Windu are talking about how the Chancellor wants a report on their progress. And I think it was interesting between the two bits of sides to the coin, right? Because Obi-Wan's like, well, tell him this is not Republic business. This is an internal Jedi affair. And Anakin's like, whoa, hold on. If the Jedi are acting as a military, which we are, even if it's on an internal matter, I feel like we should report to the Chancellor. And it goes back to that credence, right, of like, well, what is the Jedi and the Senate supposed to be to one another? They're supposed to be work buddies. That was always the way that I understood it. Especially just kind of based on the way that things were in The Phantom Menace. It didn't feel like one was necessarily working for the other. But you can very tell, as this Clone Wars goes on, as the war goes on, it becomes, well, now the Jedi are going to serve the Senate. Now they're serving everything that they need and that the Chancellor needs. And that's never what it was supposed to be. At least the way that I see it. I love how Anakin's like, this could be a trap, Master. You sure you don't want us to go? Mace is like, of course it's a trap, Skywalker. They know they're gonna walk into something stupid. So Anakin reports to the Chancellor, and, they're talking about how, someone far more powerful is behind this, but it wasn't Dooku. And Palpatine says, oh, well, have you found any clues as to who it may be? Anakin says no. Palpatine's just like, have patience, my boy. And I'm sure you would want him to, wouldn't you? Another scene that I really liked from this episode is the scene with Sidious and the children, like where he's speaking with the droids that are there, and he goes on this bit of dialogue that, like, at the time, like, I didn't really care for it that much, but then after, like, as I got older and I watched through Star Wars Rebels and understanding, like, what the Inquisitors are and kind of what they do, it's almost like then when you go back and watch this scene, it has much more symbolism now than it did before. Because Palpatine has this bit where he says, I foresee an army of Force-talented spies in my service, trained in the dark side to peer into every corner of the galaxy from afar, and my enemies would be helpless against such vision. Force-talented spies, that kind of sounds like what the Inquisitors kind of become, right? It could also run credence to potential Force sensitives that they could use in ISB as well. For those who play Jedi Survivor, you know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, Cad Bane takes Obi-Wan and Windu to the far edge of the Outer Rim into neutral space, and they arrive at this, like, random space station that's sitting out there. Cody's like, I'll keep the ship running. Cody knows this ain't gonna end well either. And also shout out to Commander Cody for being there, that's my guy. And Cad Bane takes them somewhere, he takes them to the holocron, but also, it's a trap. You know what I always find funny about this scene is every time I watch Cad Bane get away in that escape pod, it looks like he's gonna crash into an asteroid when he's leaving, because the base is surrounded by an asteroid field, and it looks like he's, like, the trajectory, did I say that right? The trajectory, whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying, of the way he was going, when he goes toward the asteroid, and then it just cuts the screen. It's like, well, wait, was he gonna crash? Is he gonna die? And they don't show him again. Question, though, that I had about this scene, how come the holocron was in its original state? Because Anakin opened it, it had like a whole new shape to it, but then when we see it here, it's all closed up like it was before. Sidious has to destroy the evidence on the base on Mustafar, which also, I guess we didn't talk about it before either, you guys, but Mustafar, this is a place that we've seen for the first time. I mean, just think about all the places that we've been to before, like in this episode, right? Like we've got Naboo, we've got Rhodia, we got like the prison area on the Jedi cruiser, we've got the space station, we've got Mustafar. So in that regard, I think it was cool. I think the only reason why I would probably put this one below the others is like, yes, a lot happened in 22 minutes, but I also feel like some of it was kind of rushed. It's like, well, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to get here, we gotta go there, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and it's like everything is happening so quickly. Was it a bad episode? No, I just prefer the other two that we got before that had a little bit of a slower pace to it. And it didn't feel like we were trying to cram like 10 different stories into one episode. But they gotta sink the base into the lava because Anakin and Ahsoka are coming and they gotta hide the evidence. But luckily for them, they rescue the children. Ahsoka's the one to actually sense where they are. Like, they have this moment where they do this camera shot where they circle around her and she's using the Force to try and sense their presence, and she figures out which way to go. Anakin and Ahsoka save the babies. They are able to get off the planet in time, and then the end of the episode is just them having a meeting with the Jedi Council, kind of going through everything, and the children are safe, they recovered the holocron, the list wasn't copied, but the future of all Jedi is uncertain, so they gotta move forward cautiously. They couldn't get any information from the base because it was destroyed, right? But Anakin's like, but we still got Bane, right? And then they all kind of look at each other, and Ahsoka's like, he got away again. So this episode, we conquered the Bane undefeated streak. I would say that this was a failed mission for him, right? Like, he wasn't able to get the children to Sidious. He lost the holocron. And it's probably one of those, like, you won't see Bane working for Sidious again, you know? But yeah, you guys, that's gonna wrap up all my thoughts on this week's episode. Man, you guys, I'm telling you what, I'm really enjoying this Clone Wars stuff that we're doing so far, you guys. You guys know that. And man, we're gonna, next week, you guys, I can't wait. What is next week's episode? Let's have a look here. I can't wait. Next week's episode is gonna be... No. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.